everybody, CoolPika here, and oh, perfect timing, a minute away from nighttime, and off the bat I already started the video, just the perfect atmosphere I needed for this episode, am I right? Welcome back to more Let's Play Pokemon Shining Pearl. In the last part, we finished up our business in the battle area, and had our final, well, our post-game rival battle with Abap slash Barry, or whoever you want to call him. Because, I mean, really, you can make up whatever name you want for that guy. And we finally brought an end to the Grand Underground saga by talking to every single NPC. Our final total is at 32. And we caught Spiritomb while we're at it. And in this part, we're going to explore a place that I've apparently glossed over during the entire main story. Which, I don't think I don't know if I've purposely skipped over this place, or did it on purpose, but either way. Oh, I didn't even know there was an insect plate there. Good to know. The power of defeated giants infuses this plate. Yeah. Interesting. Besides that, whether I just purposely skipped over it or I just forgot to do it, I don't think I could do everything I could have done in this place fully without... I forgot to put on my repel, did I? Well, mostly because I didn't see a need to explore it during the main... It might be because, even if I did explore during the main story, I don't think there would be much for me to do anyways. Unless I was gonna go and catch the Pokemon in there, which, there are a few Pokemon we can catch in there. But besides that, let's visit the old spooky Chateau. And already we are, like, greeted with this haunted music, and oh yeah, this place definitely feels haunted, alright. The Old Chateau, this definitely brings back memories. One of the first places to give you a chill down your spine, and oh yeah, it's a simple little optional dungeon, but it sure did manage to get me to crease when I was a kid. Pokemon magazines, there's Pokemon Pal, Pokemon Handbook, adorable Pokemon. That item we just got over there, by the way, is the Old Chateau, which is Old Chateau and the Old Chateau, as Professor Dark would say. Goes well together. Old Chateau, that is an item you can use to heal all stats of Pokemon, any stat in particular. Just one bite of that and it works. It's pretty much a variation of a full heal item, so that's an idea. Apparently it's described as really edible, which I'm not sure why it's considered edible, because even when I see it in the Pokemon anime, it doesn't seem that edible, but apparently it tastes really delicious because, like, it just looks like a round purple block. So, it might just be me, I'm just not sure what's found appealing about it. But, not only the atmosphere here feels creepy, but, and haunting, but there's, like, a few things that happen here. There's a few things that happen here that really brings out the hauntedness, that makes this place real haunted, and, jeez, I forgot to silent my phone again, because clearly I keep forgetting to do that. Whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. There we go, that's much better. Well, yeah, this is actually kind of nice, too, because there's, like, a little bit of details that you wouldn't see as in the originals. Yeah, you can tell that these tables are, like, old and stained, too, while you're at it. Like, you can tell how much of it aged. I mean, you wouldn't even tell that in the original, but here, they did a bit of details here, which is actually kind of nice. Let's see here. Everything's here as well, but I don't believe there's anything else in here. There's stuff in the trash cans. I don't usually bother checking the trash cans because they're usually pretty empty. I didn't think I'd find an antidote there. Over here, this says... That's not readable. Okay, you can't read that at all. I was thinking that you could read something, but I guess not. Okay, figured. This is empty as well, so I don't think anything else is here. But, things first. That's everything in this room. But aside from that, something does happen if you try and come back in here. I don't know how likely it'll happen, but if you come back in, you'll see something. Oh, there he is. Yep. It's a ghost. It's a ghost butler. Get into his ghostly tea. Yeah. Okay. I got that in one try. Yeah. That happens. That is what exactly happens if you come in and come out. There's a likely chance he'll pop up somewhere and just move. Yeah, look, he didn't even have a walking animation area. He was just, like, floating, too. Yeah, that's clearly a ghost, alright. I guess he's just doing what ghost butlers do, I guess. I don't think it'll trigger again, but that's, like, one of the few occurrences this happens, like... Yeah, it really catches you off... Yeah, I mean, yeah, that definitely spooked me out back in the originals, because, like... The moment you just re-enter that room, you just see that pop out of nowhere, which really caught me off guard. I don't think there's really a story to this place either, but it does bring the haunted aesthetic feel. I can see why Gardenia was spooked out by this place. Aside from that, there's multiple rooms here too that have items that you can find here. Over here we got TM90 Substitute. That substitute, you should know how that works by now, and oh wow, that's interesting. I'm gonna look at this real quick. This appears to be a bedroom. Perhaps probably it belongs to a little girl or something, but this, okay, now that's pretty freaky. Look at that. We got this portrait here that with glowing red eyes. That is pretty spooky. I've never seen this in the original at all, and they decided to add this here. I'm not sure what it is with it, but man, that is pretty freaky. Is that art piece supposed to be of someone? I'm looking at it, but I don't know if it was supposed to be someone in particular. Did they take that out of a real life painting somewhere? I don't know. Any confirmation on that? I really like that. Oh, whoa, wait. Did his eyes just stop blinking? Because I thought there was like a moment where his eyes just stopped glowing. Ooh, it ain't stopping. Oof. What? Oh, whoa, it stopped. It's back to normal. Nope, lights back on. Oh, that is, okay, yeah, that is interesting. Like, the moment you get close, the eyes just stop blinking whatsoever. That is pretty freaky. I don't know what's with this picture or why they decided to put it in, but wow, kudos to them, I guess. That's pretty freaky. If we enter here... Okay, there is something else that triggers here. I don't know if it'll trigger, but... It only works when you're in the opposite side of the room. So I want to enter back in and out to see if it'll trigger, but if it doesn't, then nope. And I think it's in this room where you have to trigger it. Because there's like another, because this is the second instant it triggered it. Oh, I felt something in my throat just now. I think it's decided. This room maybe? It's either one of these rooms where something triggers here. Not the okay, yeah, that's... Because, if we keep entering in and out of this room, I think we'll see something, but I am not seeing it trigger, because I know something triggers. Yeah, and that portrait's still freaky. I do not like that look it's giving me, buddy. I don't like how you're looking at me, George Washington. If that's even who you are. That's... Hello? Anybody home? No. I could have sworn something triggers here. Because I'm pretty sure that's the room where that happens. No, not here, I guess. Actually, there is one more room here. Actually, I'll come back to that a little bit. This room here. Has an item here. The Dread Plate, which works for Ghost-type Pokemon. 2 beings of time and space, set free from the original one. I'm just gonna put that in here. Now that room, there is something worth noting in there, but I don't want to trigger it yet because, I feel like I do want to show what spawns. There is okay, it's not this room. I know it's the one with a single bedroom that it has to be a room next to the single bedroom. Because, if it's not there, it won't trigger at all. Now that's... Because I know something triggers. Are you gonna appear any minute now? Hello? Hello? This would be a good moment for you to appear any minute now. Don't make me look crazy. I swear, there is something here that triggers. Depending on the likelihood, I already got it to work for the butler, but is it gonna work here too? Did they change it that it has to be this room? Oh, there it is, I got it wrong, okay, okay, so that's what I did wrong. Yeah, there it is, that little girl. Re-enter this room, and there's a likely chance that little girl right there will appear just like with the butler. Okay, so that's what I was doing wrong. It was actually this room we had to enter. I thought it was that room I had to enter in order for her to spawn in because, it was a single bedroom, so I would assume this would be like a little girl's room that belonged to a little girl that died here, or something like that, and this would be the place, but no, I guess not. I guess she, like, spawned in that empty room. Jeez, does that mean she died there at some point? In that lonely room with nothing in it? I can only imagine what was going on during that time. Okay, creepiness aside, I think I'm good to go now. I got our little horror out of the way, but we're not completely done here yet. There is still one more thing we need to do. There is this old vintage TV here that they actually went out of the way to... They actually bothered giving this TV a design that actually fits well with the aesthetic, because, like, if this were Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, it will just be, like, the same old TV you would find in any single house. So they actually did bother doing something with that, so... As usual, the following you're about to do here, there is something that you can trigger here, but however, in order to do it, you would have to have beaten the main story in Diamond and Pearl. In Platinum, you just had to beat Gardenia and get cut, and you'll be able to have access to it. But here in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, we have to just beat the main story in order to get this because yeah. But I guess which is probably why I wasn't fussing. So when I realized I glossed over this place, I think I really wasn't gonna fuss over it because I honestly would have had to come back here anyway, so I figured I'd just take care of everything in one swoop. So with that being said, talk to the TV. Inside the TV, there appears to be a Pokemon that looks like it could come out. Would you like to thump the TV? Ah, yes. Let's disrespect dead people's property and see what happens. Apparently the TV didn't really like that. And yes, here it is. The legendary Pokemon Rotom, except it's not really a legendary now, is it? But apparently Pokemon Diamond and Pearl like to treat it as such. Rotom, what you would believe is a legendary Pokemon, really isn't these days. It's just, yeah, it's treated as a legendary Pokemon canon, but I'm like, come on, in this day and age, Rotoms are pretty common as heck, because think about it, come on, we got them as Pokédexes now, we got them in cell phones, and pretty much every generation there's always a Rotom somewhere, even if it's not catchable, so they're pretty common and used in a lot of modern technology. Oh, excuse me, oh yeah, did I also mention that they're also the Pokemon PC in Generation 8? Yeah, they're the PCs too. So they're pretty dang common these days. So, again, this should have been a main story encounter because look at that level. It is level 15, which, if they're gonna make us go through the post-game just to catch this, it really should have been like a level 50 or something, so clearly this should have been an encounter for the main story, if anything, because, like, we would have been around that level by then, so again, I would not advise doing anything that would significantly damage it. So I think the only strategy I can do going forward is just chuck balls in it and hope for the best, because if I use a move, yeah, it's pretty much fainted and I gotta restart the whole encounter. So there isn't really anything I could do. Either that or find a Pokemon that's around the same level, but I'm not gonna go out of the way just to catch Pokemon. But, you know, I'm just going with my best bet by chucking Dark Balls at it because I think Dark Balls work in dark places. Worst case scenario, I can always use Ultra Balls too. Either way, it works for me either way, so no trouble, but, I think my only worry is that it gets to a point where it runs out of moves, but I think I can catch it by then. I'll likely be fine. Or not. But, yeah, that Rotom. Yeah, Rotom's pretty... Now, Rotom may not even be interesting at a first glance, but, like, when you get into Rotom, once you get into Rotom and what it does, it's a pretty fun Pokemon. It's a shame that... It's kind of a shame, too, because, I've had a Rotom. I actually got a Rotom. Whatever. I've used Rotom a little bit in Platinum, but I never used it fully, because, Rotom is also known for having special transformations. Transformations, what those are, I'll get to that in a bit, but that's what really made it fun, it's the transformations they can take on. Because, as you can already tell, he's known for possessing appliances, which electronic devices, as I already told you. Like that TV, for instance. So, yeah, he's got, like, those transformations, they can affect his typings and whatnot. And okay, cool, I caught it. Did what I needed to do there. Is that Rotom's caught? Again, this should have been a main story encounter if its level is going to be this low. Its body is composed of plasma. It is known to infiltrate electronic devices and wreak havoc. Sure. Actually, nah. I am not giving it a Rotom a nickname, but, I will actually send it to the box for the time being, however. And that's it. And from catching Rotom, we get a secret key. This item is actually really interesting, and I did not expect to actually get this during the remake, because, now that we got Rotom, the next thing I want to do is head back to Eterna City, because it is used for something. What that is, honestly really surprised me, because I didn't think I would see this in this remake, but yet, it's here. What that is, I'll get to it in a bit, but for now, the first thing I want to do is head back to Eterna City. Because, when we go to Eterna City, the next thing we're going to want to do is, go to the Team Galactic HQ, or at least former Team Galactic building, because I doubt anyone is there anymore. It's pretty much abandoned at this point. Like, there's no one really important there using it now. Because if we go in here, What I want to do is head over in this area and use the secret key. And like that, there's an entrance to a secret room that was not here before. Go inside, we find this little room here with a bunch of orange electronic devices. While I'm here, I think I may as well put Rotom in the party for the time being, since this is kind of its episode. So, I think for the time being, I'll let Terminator, take a rest for the time being, chill out. So, we got different appliances we can use here. Talk to one of these appliances here, and it's a microwave oven. It has an odd-shaped motor on it. And Rotom wants to go into the monitor. Into the motor. I'll let Rotom go in there, and it will learn a move. However, of course, it doesn't want, but has to forget a move, so, just to demonstrate, I'm just gonna forget charge and be done with it. So yeah, it learns the move upon taking on a form. And you retain a catalog for it, so you don't have to come back into this room to transform. Yeah, microwave oven has been added to the Rotom catalog, and... Oh, Professor Rowan, I forgot you show up here. Ah! Imagine finding you here. You must be eager to fill your Pokédex to be searching even here. What am I doing? I visit a professor I know in Eterna every so often. He tells me intriguing rumors of rare Pokemon sightings and such. A Pokemon thus slips into electric appliances, you say? That is somewhat off from what I've heard about it. This is what I've heard. Long ago, there was a Pokemon merged with a toy robot. Should that Pokemon be recognized as a new species or not? Debates over the issue were about to start when they were rendered moot. The very topic of the discussion, the Pokemon-infused robot, disappeared. Oh, mysterious. But aside from that, over here we got another motor here we can go into. That's the fan. And from there, you can learn like a wind-type move. Okay, actually, yeah, let me look at it. What's the move? What was the wind-type move he learns again? This form he goes up to like a electric flying. And I believe, and he learns Air Slash instead of Overheat. So the move you've taught it changes. Next, we got the refrigerator. I think this is the one I've used the most. Either that or the washing machine. But, when you take on that form, it's Electric Ice type, and it learns Blizzard. Next is the washing machine, which I remember. This makes it Electric Water type, and it learns the move Hydro Pump. Then last but not least, we got the lawnmower. Put Rotom in this motor, and it'll become an Electric Grass type. And the move which I don't remember, I believe it's Leaf Storm. Yes, that's the move. So with that being said, that is like all the transformations. It's a pretty unique Pokemon if you get into it. Like, you can change its forms around all you want depending on the situation. It's a pretty nice Pokemon. Pretty good too. I've used it a bit in Platinum, but I didn't use it very far. But, what's interesting about this place is, this was not an event that was this place was actually an event exclusive area that you can gain access to through a Mr. Gift in the original versions, which did not come out until Platinum. So you could honestly look at this as a Platinum exclusive event. There is nowhere else you can find it. And the fact that they brought this back here as not as an event, but rather a normal event you can access after catching Rotom, I will say I gladly welcome this, because even Game Freak acknowledges that Rotom's forms are part of the norm at this point, so they just decide, like, of all the themes for Platinum they ended up keeping, it's this one. So they did keep some events. But that's not all there is to this place. There's still a few more things that are to this place here, which is, first I want to check this PC, which has nothing. But if I read this book over here, there's 2 books here that has some story behind them and has some interesting lore regarding Rotom and this facility. And I want to read these books real quick to you, just to get an idea of what this place is. There's a mysterious notebook here. Its age is impossible to tell. It was by pure chance that I obtained information about the Pokemon Rotom. Remarkably, Rotom is able to merge with special motors. Rotom can thereby enter various home appliances and change its form. I have confirmed that Rotom changes its type, and the moves it can learn by reflecting the characteristic of any home appliances it enters. This Pokemon requires exhaustive observation and analysis. To ensure I get all the credit, my Rotom research must be kept secret. They will come to recognize me as the scientific genius Car. As if it isn't obvious at this point, the name here is clearly supposed to say Karen, who I've mentioned back in my episode when catching Heatran. He is, of course, the scientist that you found when you went up. He is indeed the scientist you found when encountering during Platinum. He's not here in this game, but even at this point, he's still referenced in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, even if he has no appearance here whatsoever. But there is one more book here, which I'm going to want to take a good read at. Let's read it. Our encounter was a sudden one. It was when I found my toy robot one that I had earlier misplaced. At that instance, a Pokemon startlingly emerged from the lawnmower's motor. Clutching my robot, I stared, transfixed by the peculiar Pokemon. The Pokemon hovered in the air, held aloft by a power unseen. As if curious and unafraid of my presence, it floated toward me. Crackling sounds accompanied it, as if from static electricity in the air. Remarkably, it seemed the Pokemon was the source of this power. In alarm, I flinched, certain that my face would be subjected to a shock. Much to my surprise, the Pokemon seemed to favor me with a smile. Finally, I came to realize that the Pokemon only wished to be friends. I have decided to name this most wondrous Pokemon, Rotom. Simple though it may be, Rotom emerged to me from the motor of a lawnmower. Motor and Rotom. Surely the link is obvious. Rotom is a Pokemon that is simply sensational. The fact that it can turn invisible is simply the beginning. What makes Rotom unique is the ability to enter and operate machinery. This is a Rotom and I became fast friends. We are perpetual companions. The electricity from his body forbade contact. However, we could not touch, let alone hug or hold hands. But we cared not, for we were bonded on a much deeper, incorporeal level. A feeling of mischief got the better of me one day. Seeing Rotom hovering, I decided to startle it. Normally I would not. Perhaps frightened, Rotom discharged power beyond its usual range. I fell, stunned, into the arms of unconsciousness. When I came to my horror, I realized that Rotom had disappeared. I searched high and low for my friend in dismay and desperation. Don't chastise yourself. The fault is mine. No harm done. Let us play as we always have. Though my words pour out, my friend could not be found to hear them. My search for Rotom carried me far from home. It was in the town's rubbish heap, and I again found my old toy robot. Curiously, our eyes met. Then the robot waved a hand as if in greeting. I knew then that I had found my lost friend. I ran to it and hugged Rotom tight, talking on and on. The robot's eyes lit up helplessly as I held it. I'm certain within it, Rotom was emitting lots of electricity. Somehow I felt I could understand Rotom's thoughts better than before. Also, I realized that we would remain friends throughout our lives. This is an interesting piece of information here. There are a few theories of what this book is about and who it is. I think a popular theory is they've all made the presumption that it was Karen that left this book behind and he was the one that found Sharon. Although it is within my personal belief that the one who wrote that book might have been none other than Cyrus himself. I think about it because he was a boy in Sunnyshore's City that did nothing but tinker with machines. And not to mention, he cared about nothing else. And it seems like there's the one time where he resonated and made friends with a Pokemon known as Rotom. The only Pokemon that he seemed to really cared about when he showed no emotions for nothing else. Aside from that, I think there was also another instance where, and not to mention, there is an instance in Pokemon Masters where there was an event related to Cyrus, and in that moment, there was a moment in there where Cyrus went and talked to Sophocles, who had a Rotom with him, and from there, Cyrus mentions dialogues saying taking interest. Cyrus acknowledges Rotom and takes a bit of interest in it, which I think is like really interesting. So, which clearly implies that he has a personal history with Rotom and knows a lot about Alton personally, mostly because that he was the same person in that journal that knew a lot about Rotom. Evidence really shows for it in Pokemon Masters. If you don't believe me, it is there. So I like to believe that this was. So it seems like, despite how much trouble Cyrus was, he always seems to. There does seem to be a bit of something inside him that did make him human. So really, despite all that, despite talking about being incomplete and all that, deep down in the end, he is still human like the rest of us, no matter how much he wants to deny it. But, with that being said, I think that's a good place to stop here for today. We've got a lot uncovered. We explored the Old Chateau, caught Rotom, and learned a bit more about possibly Cyrus and have a better understanding of him, of his past, which is actually pretty interesting. So, next time on Let's Play Pokemon Shining Pearl, I think we're going to be making our next stop to Romanus Park. I will see you guys next time.